right, happy Monday, Gabi. We are in studio. We're back. Crazy fights, or actually maybe crazy 2 fights this weekend. Did you see the fights?
Yeah, I mean the draw was a bit surprising.
I know. Before we get into the fights, how was your weekend? Do anything exciting?
Yeah. Nah, just worked and watched the fights with the crew. So
yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you guys watch fights, who's usually like what's the crew?
I was away this weekend, but Kevin, Taylor Smarco, Team Ciano family.
Yeah.
We all get together. Rotate houses so no one has to host too much.
yeah. Spread the expenses and spread the
exactly.
Hello. So what's your jiu-jitsu training going? Like what's the schedule that you're doing with Eddie these days?
Sure. Yeah, right now I'm a blue belt under Eddie Torres. Because of the pandemic and an online school, I'm there 5-6 days a week, honestly, which has been awesome because I have a lot more free time to be able to get in the gym. It's been great. I've been training jiu-jitsu and Muay Thai under him.
That's awesome. So you're like you can help me on all these things that I don't understand yet that I'm still trying to learn. You can jump right in and fill in the gaps for me.
I mean, in the grand scheme of things, I'm definitely like the infant, but yeah, I could try to help you out.
Listen, any help goes a long way. I've been able to fake it so far, you know what I mean? I had a pretty good weekend. I've been trying to build my kid a tree house. Mm-hmm. I keep on calling it a fort, but little did I know that it was going to be such a big undertaking. It feels like I'm building like an apartment on a deck. Like,
oh, geez.
It's funny. I was talking to someone. They were like, "Who do you know recently who's built a treehouse?" I'm like, "You're making a good point. I have no idea." But when a 7-year-old tells you like, "I wish I had a treehouse at some point in my life," you're like, "Well, why not? Let's make a treehouse." Another funny fact about the darn treehouse, I build it. It's like 8 feet tall. Like the platform is 8 feet tall. So I do all the work by myself. I build all the structure, the important part. And then I climb up there and I quickly remember that I'm apparently scared of heights or
jeez.
Everything started spinning and I'm like, oh, what did I just get into with this project? But so then I had some help this weekend. We almost wrapped it up.
But anyway, how you completely forgot until you're
because you know what, I used to fly in helicopters for news shooting out of with no door, and I guess there's a difference between really high and medium heights. Mm-hmm. Medium heights scare me. So after I pass like a 6-foot ladder, I start getting a little wobbly. But then I can go up there and just it's that was a long time ago too. So who knows if now with age I just become more of a chicken shit. But anyway, I saw the fights. So first of all, Mondays I'm committed to doing a show every Monday, talk about the fights, quick little show, just kind of recap everything, share some thoughts, and cover that part of thing. And then once a week we'll do another show to release on Fridays, which will be the guest interview type shows that we've been doing. So please, let us know how you're liking these new things that we're doing and that we're changing. Share it.
Comment, subscribe.
Comment. Please subscribe. I mean, it's growing beautifully and organic, and it's little by little. And I love the support that it's getting. But let's speed it up. Let's crank those numbers.
Yeah. And let us know who you want to see, what you want to see.
That's a great point because it gets It luckily lines up really well with who we're having as a guest, but it would be nice to get people's thoughts on kind of who they would really want to see, and then we can try to make it happen. Just don't say Connor or something like that because it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Give us a couple years for that.
Listen, we'll get him when he retires. How about that? By the time we're ready, he'll be done. So before we get into the fights, have you heard anything about the Puerto Rican boxer?
Which
Verdejo?
one? Oh, no.
All right. So, can you look this guy up real quick? It's Verdejo boxer out of Puerto Rico. Ver.
See?
D-E-J. Verdejo. Felix Verdejo. Yeah, go down. Yeah. Okay.
Oh, no.
So, as much as I follow boxing, there's certain names out of Puerto Rico that you start hearing a lot and people kind of getting excited for their careers. So I have been hearing his name. I know of him. I've been hearing his name recently more than ever. And then all of a sudden last week, this guy starts becoming like the main interest in a disappearance of a girl in Puerto Rico. A pregnant girl. I forget her age, like 20 something or whatever. But apparently, like, I caught the story when he was going in to just like voluntarily like go talk to the police or whatever. And everybody's like, say it isn't so. Like, it's just what are the odds? Like, I think it started as like his car seemed like it could be connected with it, and he knew the girl. So, but within like I want to say 24, 48 hours, it like. They get his card, they take it to get to I guess do forensics on it, and then quickly after he surrenders to the police. So the fucking story is bizarre. You know nothing of this. I
have not heard of it
because it's like it's made it into like CBS News, like it's all over the place. So apparently he's married with a kid, but then he gets this girl pregnant, and she told him that she was pregnant. So I don't know what is wrong with human beings, but so he gets an accomplice or whatever to help him. This is how it was played out in the news, to help him terminate the pregnancy, whatever that means. So then they call her and they meet with her. She gets into his car. They drive. Where do they drive to? I don't know where they drive to, but then he punches her. I guess knocks her out. They inject her with some drug. They tie her up and they throw her over a bridge into the water. And then he shoots at her from the bridge.
Bro.
The saddest fucking story ever. The most bizarre story ever. And then the one guy drives the girl's car, I guess, wherever, and then he drives his car, and so then that's the story at this point.
Jeez. What the fuck?
I could not believe it. I'm like, why?
Literally, yeah. That's
why can't people just say, listen, I fucked up, or I don't know, like...
Just don't be unfaithful.
Perhaps start there. But if you're gonna do that, then at least, like, I don't know, come clean or run away. Or, like, don't kill.
Jeez.
Anyway, that was a very sad and bizarre turn of events for who was, deemed to be like a very popular Puerto Rican boxer. Mm-hmm. 27 years old. Kills a girl. So he's being charged with, I think, kidnap with attempt to murder or something like that. I guess killing of an unborn child. Like, it says like 4 counts against him. And if any of them stick, I think he would be eligible for the death sentence.
Shit.
It's so bizarre when people go from, nobody expects anything, and then that. And how about his wife?
That's a lot to unpack for her.
You're living with a killer that you have no idea is capable of doing something like that.
I can't imagine.
Anyway, that's how we lighten up Mondays, by bringing up stories of horrible. Listen, we love true crime type shows in our house, and when it mixes with boxing, it's like a perfect a perfect thing to bring up on the show.
Bring it down.
Anyway, I'm sorry.
Up. Yep.
So, what do you think of the fights? Getting into that real quick.
Little whiplash. No, I think it was a good weekend. Couple surprises, but
so Strickland. We can start with him, or I guess we can do the Stamen fight. I don't know. I wasn't too thrilled with that fight to begin with. That didn't do much for me. But Stamen, I think, he's lost his last 2 or 3 fights in a row, which I felt bad because he's the one that I think lost his brother, and then he like fought like that same weekend because that's what the brother would have wanted him to do, and so like I think that's when I kind of grabbed onto his name a little bit more. But I don't think it's gone very well in the last couple of fights. So that was a shame there. And then Strickland wins by decision. Yeah. He's a big shit talker. There was a bunch of highlights coming out before that fight of him like just telling the other guy nonstop what to do. Come on, man, do this, throw something. Come on, hit me with this. Okay, that was better. Like just nonstop talking.
I know, because he was just moving forward the whole fight, and that's.
But he's gritty. He's a gritty fighter.
Mm-hmm. Literally just marching him down.
Yeah. I like him. Kudalaba. Is that how you pronounce it?
Yeah.
Kudalaba versus Jacoby. So, there's something about Kudalaba that drives me nuts.
Oh, I can't stand him.
You can't stand him either? What is it about?
It was the grab at the face-offs.
Well, so first of all, he's the one that paints himself as like Hulk, I think, in the weigh-ins.
Yeah, he's the Hulk.
All right, bro, let's relax. Let's not do that. But if you're gonna do that, don't be also like a weirdo in the octagon, because when I first learned of him was when who was it that he fought? Was it Pareda? Mm-hmm. He was the one that went into the fight. They like didn't like each other, and it was all this aggression buildup when they were about to start fighting. He like screamed in his face, but then he pretended he got hurt. You remember this? He started wobbling. So then the ref stopped the fight, and then he was like, "No, I'm good. I'm just pretending."
That's why you don't talk shit. Jeez.
All right, let me see. So no, that's what it was. Another thanks for all these names. Ankalev. Anyway, that's who he was fighting. Who looks completely like Abe Lincoln, in my opinion. So that was the fight. So see how they fought 2 times? Mm-hmm. So the first one was where he pretended that he was hurt. And I'm like, so why are you playing these games, right? Don't do that. They stopped the fight, whatever. Then they fight again. And then he gets knocked out in round 1.
Yeah, round 1, 4 minutes.
You're not looking good. You're dressing up like the Hulk. You're pretending that you're hurt. Mm-hmm. And then, then you get knocked out by Abe Lincoln. Well, he's never going to come on the show. I'm not talking very well about him. But anyway, so, this weekend, he fights against Jacoby. And, the fight's fine.
The first round, I was like, if Kudalaba doesn't win this is going to be ridiculous. He was throwing Jacoby around like a rag doll.
Yeah. And in the weigh-ins, he started by ragdolling him by pulling him by the neck. Mm-hmm. What, the week after the previous, was it the week before or something, where the guy, what's his name? It was, who the fuck is this guy? What's his name? Why do I always forget his name? Because he barely fights. But anyway, he did the same thing. He pushed the guy and then made the guy have a concussion. Remember?
Shit. Yeah.
So like right after that just happened, where the fight got taken off the card because of that, you're going to go do the same thing? Like, what is this? What is going on with the weigh-ins? Or with the face-offs?
Well, that's what, they were saying the commissioner is going to have to worry about him next time, which is just stupid. Why would you be on the radar like that? I'm
all for the fun and like the just getting the crowd excited, but like, don't hurt the chances of the fight happening to begin with. No. Okay, it's on the bottom right there. The GIF. So anyway, so he goes on, and then that fight goes to decision, which has become more and more popular. Draws, don't you think? Like. It's been like 3 in the last, at least in the less than the last year. I don't know. Do you think it was fair?
It's hard because I think the first round was just so dominant one way, and they were saying that the second and the third were like harder to judge, and I definitely think Jacoby came back, but visually, as just like a fan watching, I was like, bro.
Yeah.
But it was like, I mean, he kept popping right back up, so there was no ground control.
Which really. I think immediately, it doesn't negate the takedown, but it doesn't.
Mm-hmm.
It doesn't.
You don't really get
it doesn't mean much.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So anyway, that went to decision, and then
Cub Swanson's
lost by liver kick.
And this was his first fight without his head coach.
Exactly.
After 38 fights.
Exactly. Which is obviously a shock to the system for him. But I don't think it had anything to do with the outcome of the fight because a minute it took. Mm-hmm. And by the way, is it Giga? We're going to get every name wrong. He came out and his punches, I thought, his strikes felt a lot more powerful than Swanson. So, like, I don't know how that fight was going to go either way. And I think so. His trainer is Kevin Gastelum's trainer, I believe. They have some like their grittiness of the way they train. I guess the way they execute in their fight is very like dominant. So unless you're facing somebody who's gonna, who's above you as far as skill wise, they usually push the control. But anyway, we didn't get to see that much of that because he lands a nasty left kick to the body. Baseball bat sound.
The worst.
I mean, I've never been hit in the liver hard enough to get taken out by it. But
I've witnessed it. I've never had it happen to me, thankfully. Knock on wood. But yeah, it is just, it's the keel over, the body rolling down. That's
when something happens to your body where your body shuts down, and it's not like your head's different, right? Because that's like the way your body protects. I don't know if the liver maybe is the same way, but it's almost like shut down, your body's about to die, you're causing an organ to turn the lights off, basically. That's some scary shit.
Yeah, I mean, that's how Andrade beat Caitlin.
Yep, exactly.
And she tried to fight it, but...
Yeah.
I know, Coach John actually taught a seminar at Team Taino, and body shots knocked a friend Eric over, literally on the ground.
Wait, who did? John?
Coach John.
He hit somebody?
Yeah.
He beat a bully. Wait, why did he hit? Like, he was just showing how to do something? Or they were like...
We're doing body shot drills. Just take body... I mean, they do it... See, he taught a seminar at our gym, and they do it all the time over at...
Just to harden the body?
I think so.
Get people used to it? Or is it like a fun challenge that you guys do?
Definitely wasn't fun for Eric. But it was literally... He was like demonstrating and just...
Yeah.
So
is a body shot? I always thought a hard body shot knocked the wind out of you. Therefore, you couldn't gather yourself. Is this the same thing as a liver shot?
I think it depends specifically where you hit, because I know right versus left, and I know if you watch how you take in the breath, either you're clenching and then you get the abs ready, or it's once you hit on the suck in.
Right. I mean, neither of those two things sound ideal, but a liver shot, I don't know. It's like cringy, like to think of your body just going into immediate, you're going to pee blood for how long? It's not a pretty sight. But anyway, so Cub Swanson lost by a nasty liver shot, and I think he would have probably, I don't know if he would have won anyway, but it would have been nicer to see him go at least 2 rounds in there. Instead of getting taken out by a body shot. And then, damn it, Reyes
Prochazka.
I think Reyes is so good. But I feel like he's fighting people who are just slightly better, and he's maybe not, like the chin's just not there.
Well, his poor nose just keeps
his nose, but I mean, that was from the last fight. That thing was good, started to bleed immediately. I know. But his, I'll talk about Reyes first before we can talk about Jiri. Is it Jiri? Jiri. Sweet hairstyle too. But how is that legal? How is the hairstyle legal?
I don't know. I know we were talking about the instinct to grab it must have been so bad.
Yeah.
Especially when he was slipping out of the guillotine, just
100%.
Pulling right back in. Nope.
But also, what happens if that thing hits you in the eye? Think about it. If you whip your head and that thing gets you in the eye. Right? That's as bad as an eye poke, I feel like. Anyway, Reyes, I thought, had the right. So in Reyes' last fight against Blachowicz, I was like, he's not there. Like, he doesn't look, maybe it was the pressure of like going for the belt. I don't know. I mean, I guess he did it with John Jones, so I don't know what the pressure there would have been. Maybe he was just off that night. But I was like, I didn't have good feelings about the whole thing. But he came out looking good with this one. The confidence was there, the energy was there, and his movement and his ability to counter in a very boxing way, like, it's beautiful punches, in my opinion. Mm-hmm. Like that left hand, when that thing lands, it does what it needs to do. But apparently, Jiri's made of cement and does not get affected by any shots.
None.
But also, like 3 times, I'm like, yes, Reyes got him.
He was wobbly a couple of times.
But I don't know what he was doing with it. Like he would almost fall on purpose over Reyes and then be right back. Like I think it was a punch that wobbled him. But then when Reyes was on the ground, up kick, and I thought he had him.
I thought it was going to be a knockout.
I'm like, yes, perfect, up kick. No, he was fine. It didn't even take a second to recover. He was fine. And then I think it was either a hammer fist or one of these sneaky elbows kind of across from his back that I also thought got him. Nope, nothing. They get up. Well, and Jiri you gotta like the guy comes at you and throws some weird shit. First of all, those front kicks. What are you, Mortal Kombat? Like what the? He made Reyes fly into the cage. That was insane. So, like, he's doing that. The uppercuts were looking really nice, too. What else was he throwing do we have any highlights by any chance that we can look at? Because, holy shit, he put on a performance. Let me see this real quick. Oh, that's the knockout?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
Let's see.
We can talk about that in a second. But, that guy comes out hard. And likes to get into the scraps, especially again with the backs against the cage. Mm-hmm. Where I thought Reyes was doing pretty good at kind of weathering the storm and still putting in landing some good counters that made him not look like he was out of the fight. Mm-hmm. Much better performance than against Blachowicz, but it definitely wasn't enough. He wobbled Reyes with a straight. I think he almost dropped him with a straight right hand, I believe. All right, so here he is coming out. What do you think about the new outfits, by the way? The new Venom versus Reebok. Them. They're much better, right? Mm-hmm. All right, so here's round one. Are these just the highlights? Mm-hmm. I wasn't a fan, so I don't know. What do you think of Jiri? Is he cocky or is he super humble, but a little awkward?
I think it was awkward. I mean, his post-fight, the conference, it was
weird.
I mean, he called his ponytail an antenna. Like,
he's a little weird.
He was joking around. But just the hands down at the waist.
By the way, that's cocky in its own against somebody like Reyes. So he fights with the hands down. Lance gets out of the shots really well. But look at that. Hand up. Kick. Look at that. See, that straight right. But Reyes see, I love that. So he puts the combinations together really nice. He caught him good with the left there too.
And then takedown.
The takedown was good, but it didn't last very long.
No, the way Prochazka got up was like scared. Like,
yeah.
How do you bounce up like that with a guy like Reyes on top of you? That's why I was like...
By the way, look at that. Reyes is 6'2", is it? 6'2", 205, probably walks around 220. Mm-hmm. He's not a little guy. And he seemed like the small guy on this one.
Oh, yeah.
Look at that. He's like, dude, get off of me, man. Give me a second to breathe.
I know. The whole time back against the cage.
And that's what I'm saying. See, but Reyes looks, I think, phenomenal with the way he was getting out of those exchanges. Honestly, I think if it wasn't for the elbow from hell, Reyes could have won either by knockout or by decision. But of course, that doesn't make a difference because of the spinning elbow. I felt bad because Reyes, I think, was looking out towards where Jiri was going to try to go for the next, to throw something, and did not see that spin coming whatsoever.
No, not at all. Like,
he thought, okay, he got me with an elbow. Now he's going to move that way, and I'm going to catch him. Is this when it happens? No, right. Yeah, let's go to that. So, look, missed out. See what I'm saying? Let me play it. Watch that again. All right, so it's relentless. So he hits him with that, and he thinks he's going to keep on going that way. He thinks he's exiting out.
Nope.
And he just came right back with a fucking spinning elbow. And poor Reyes face down on the mat. Is that the most embarrassing way to go? Just like going to sleep like that, face first?
I mean, he definitely hurt his face on the mat.
That's what I always think too. Like one thing's getting hit with an elbow. That already hurts. Now your face, by the way, you're dropping from your full height straight face first. And those mats, even though they're a little plush, they're not that. They're not. There's still wood under there.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I mean, this is like, they're talking title shot for Prochazka next. And he was like, what?
I don't think he even believed it.
No.
That's his second fight in the UFC?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think he has 11 fights in a row, won. Maybe 8 or 9 KOs in a row.
Yeah. Because
he's an aggressive fellow.
Amateur Muay Thai boxer.
So how do you go with just 2 fights in the UFC straight for title shot? Is it because you beat Reyes? How did he get Reyes? So because he beat Vulcan. Mm-hmm. By
KO
round
in 49
KO.
seconds, yeah.
Wait, that wasn't the Usman Masvidal? Oh, the first one. Right?
Yeah. Yeah, 251.
Yeah. Wow, so he's been out for a minute too. Mm-hmm. Almost a year.
Yeah. Well, both round 2 stoppages.
Well, he's a beast. We were warned about him by Michael.
I know.
And I was like, who? I couldn't even see the name on the thing. So that's next. So apparently, Blachowicz is going to fight him for the title. That'll be a good fight. Because Blachowicz is another one that's just a little bit too much. Mm-hmm. He's a little too hard and aggressive. But so what do you think happens to Reyes? He's going to have to fight somebody below him, I feel like.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Because
do you come back from that?
I don't know. I think because I don't know if any of those were rematch. Well, maybe John Jones. Honestly, I think that was
I thought he beat John Jones.
That. If he could get that rematch, he could keep going up. But other than that, no.
John Jones is already difficult enough to line up fights for him, but he's gonna go and have you seen him? He's not going back to 205.
Nah.
He's gonna go to heavyweight. Mm-hmm. Maybe he'll go back to 205 eventually, but I think he'll stay at heavyweight. Why not? If he dominates in if he beats Ngannou, then there's no reason to go anywhere.
Yeah, no.
And if he doesn't beat Ngannou but looks good, then there's plenty of other people he can fight. Mm-hmm. Plenty of money fights. So no reason for him to be down in 205. Izzy's got to stay in his place too. Izzy doesn't beat any of these guys, I feel like, after his last performance in the 205 division. So I don't know. I don't know who Reyes fights, but I feel like when you go from such a high spot with John Jones and then suffer 2 devastating losses right afterwards with guys who aren't as talented as John Jones, you have to question what the hell you're doing. Mm-hmm. So either it's his training, his camp, or, dude, maybe John Jones really isn't that dominant anymore. He's obviously very, very talented, so he knows how to win a fight. But he also allows himself to be hit more, maybe doesn't hit that hard. These guys, I feel like, have a punch that's, a weight behind their punch that's just unlike many other fighters, especially Blachowicz. So that'll be an interesting fight.
Steel. And chins of steel.
Yeah, just like Chris Weidman. Just joking. Too soon?
Too soon.
Yeah, he already got surgery. He's fine.
Oh, yeah.
Did you see that he got the back stitched up because the bone went through the calf and the skin when he stepped?
What?
People are at a different level. We have another good show lined up for this week that we'll release on Friday. And then what fights are this weekend? We won't make any picks or anything, but I'm just curious who. Who?
Well, because we got 262 coming up, so we're gonna have another
dud before. Oh no! But you know what happened? No, it was supposed to be Sandhagen versus Dillashaw, but Dillashaw got a cut on his eyebrow. So isn't Michelle Watterson supposed to take the main position? the main event position?
Let me see.
I would just go to the UFC website and see what they have lined up. I don't know if it's official yet who's gonna do the main event. But seems to be.
Jeez.
Let's slide right real quick to see. Can we chill with the ass people? Oh Lord, maybe they should just cancel the card altogether. I thought Michelle Waterson was in that card.
Yeah, this is.
All right, well, we'll be picking other fights apparently. Oh, another fight this weekend that happened. Andy Reyes fought in boxing. He lost a ton of weight after the Joshua fight, which is great because it shows that he's doing everything in his power to be back at where he was when he won the belts. But training with Canelo's people, and got dropped early on, like just a brief little, but he looked good. I thought it's awesome to see somebody get really motivated to come back and realize that, hey, you fucked up. Like, you won everything, and then you went and ate all the Mexican food you could possibly find, and came back heavier and less motivated the second time around. It doesn't make any sense to me. But I get it because I love Mexican food. And it is Cinco de Mayo week. So I feel you, Andy Reyes. But it was good to see that. And then, speaking of, this weekend, Canelo fights Billy Joe Saunders. Canelo has become the king of fighting so randomly that you forget that he's fighting. I've been talking about how Billy Joe Saunders was a nightmare for somebody like Canelo. But it's been very well documented here that I always say that about Canelo, and Canelo always finds a way to win. So it might not be anything, but if anybody that I'm going to root for that I think has a chance to dethrone Saul, it would be Billy Joe Saunders, who's a likable dude. He's like Tyson Fury. He's like a gypsy kind of guy, just funny, talented as hell, moves around a lot. He can avoid a lot of people's, like, he's great in his defense. Canelo's a whole different level. So maybe that's going to be great because nobody else does that to Canelo, but maybe it's also a horrible idea because if he gets cracked, maybe not so much. But anyway, I'm actually pumped to see. I don't get, not many boxing fights these days that get me excited, but I think this matchup specifically, for all of Canelo's last matchups, this is the one that I'm kind of pumped for. Yeah, definitely. And that I know the name because Canelo has been fighting anybody who you don't even know who they are. mandatory. So that'll be exciting. But anyway, do we have anything else to chat about, or is that pretty much it?
I think so.
No exciting current events. No more homicides that we should discuss to end on a low note.
I know, we can bring it back down.
Oh, God.
Hopefully not. I knock on wood.
Knock on wood. All right. Well, happy Monday. Let's make sure we get these numbers going. Subscribe, share, please.